Hey there. Are you the strong one? Are you the one that everyone goes to? Are you trying to figure out how you can take better care of yourself as well as attend to your family, your friends, and those you love? Well, if so, you're in the right place. And we're going to talk about it in just Hi there. Welcome to Stress Talk Live with Marcyline. This is the place where we help women over 40 to learn how to take care of themselves, be healthier through strategic stress management and solution focused self care. All last month, we talked about self care and self care strategies that were solution focused. We haven't stopped talking about self care, we're still talking about it. I'm Marcelyn Bailey, and I'm so glad you're here. I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. I'd like to ask you to like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's where you will receive all of the most current information that we have to share with you. Also, if you subscribe to the newsletter, you'll get it directly in your inbox. We're talking about self care. And self care is one of those things that we do to lower our stress levels, right? Well, what happens when we do those things and it doesn't work? We're still experiencing high levels of stress. We're overwhelmed, we feel burned out, we're constantly tired, we're fatigued, we're exhausted. And yet, we have all of these roles and responsibilities that we have to manage. But how do we manage it when our self care doesn't help? Well, I want to talk about that a little bit, and I want to give you some strategies that will, I believe, that will help you. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can say goodbye to stress using three life changing self care practices. I think they're very simple to do, and I think they're so simple that we don't even consider them. We kind of overlook them because we think we have to do something very complex. But these three practices fall under the umbrella of self care. Now, I know some of you say, well, I go get my manicure and my pedicure every other week or every week, and that's how I take care of myself. Well, it's a nice thing to do. It is, and it feels good. Some of you may say, well, I get a massage every week, and that's how I take care of myself. That is important too. And yes, that works. The thing is, they produce temporary results. They may lower your stress. You may feel relaxed for a time, but it doesn't last long. Others of you may say, well, I meditate in the morning, which is great because I meditate as well. And I know how life changing that self care practice can be. But once again, that in itself does not cover all of what we need in order for us to say bye bye, stress, and to enable us to boost our energy. These are the things that I think we need to do in order to do just what I said: say goodbye to stress, be able to boost our energy, and to have what we need in order to face the challenges that we face on a daily basis. All right, let's get into it. Okay. All righty. So, the first self care practice is that we need to assess. One of the things that I always emphasize with the women that I work with is that self care is a lifestyle. It is not just an action or an activity that we do once or twice or even regularly. It's a lifestyle. What we have to remember that we are not one-dimensional beings. If we were one-dimensional, we would look like a cartoon on a page, right? We would just be a cartoon, right? Yes, we would. We'd just be a cartoon, but we're not. We are multidimensional. And because of that, we need multidimensional solutions. When we're thinking about self care, we want to assess all of those dimensions. We want to look at what we need mentally, physically, emotionally, as well as spiritually in order for us to take good care. You know, that's my catchphrase, right? I always say, take good care. So we need to look at all of that in order for us to really have an ongoing self-care practice that is that results in long-lasting outcomes. So one of the things we want to look at in terms of assessment is that we want to consider what is stopping us. Is it time? Do we feel as if we don't have enough time to devote to self-care practices or incorporate those self-care practices into our lifestyle? Is it opportunity? Do we feel as if we don't have the opportunity to to engage in practices that we enjoy and that fill us? Or is it about boundaries? Is that what it is? Do we need to establish boundaries so that we can take good care? Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if you recall, I started this segment by saying, are you the one that everyone goes to? Are you the strong one? People, women in my community often use those phrases. I'm the strong one, and I am expected to be available to everyone. I'm the one that everyone comes to. Well, those are wonderful things until they start interfering with your ability to take care of yourself, right? It's quite interesting when I talk to women who look like me. They wear that I'm the strong one, or I'm expected to be available. Everybody comes to me, as if it's a badge of honor. Well, in principle, it is good in a sense, but in actuality, it takes away from the time we have to take care of ourselves, and sometimes it takes away the opportunity that we have to take good care. So we want to look at those boundaries, and we want to establish healthy boundaries. We want to establish a healthy way of functioning among the people that we love and care about so that we can fill up our gas tank mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually so that we can be readily available to them when they actually need us. So we want to assess that. Is it time? Is it opportunity? Or is it the boundaries? The other thing that we want to assess is our view of self care. Do you consider self care to be a remedy, something that you use to remedy something that is problematic? Is self care something that you rely on when you're having a problem? Let me give you an example. If you are stressed, do you take a few minutes by going to get your manicure, 30 minutes to get your manicure, your pedicure done so that you can relax for those 30 minutes? Well, what about the rest of the day? Right? What about the rest of the day? And what do you do when you encounter a stressful situation? You can't say, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm going to get my hands and my nails done. So just hold that thought and I'll be right back." No, you can't do that. So you want to look at how you're viewing self-care to begin with. Are you using it as if it is a remedy? Are you using it as if it is a cure? Or are you incorporating it into your lifestyle so that it is a part of everything you believe, you think, you experience, you do, and you feel? You want self care to be a part of your life and a big part of your lifestyle. So you want to assess again how you're viewing your approach to self care. Is it a cure or a remedy, or is it incorporated into your lifestyle so that it's done automatically and it's done as a course of as a part of what you do on a daily basis? So let's go to the next thing. Once you assess, and again, these are self-care practices that you can do to make sure that you are taking good care. Once you assess, you also want to understand. You want to have an understanding that, number one, you are not your role. I'm going to say that again. Understand that you are not your role. I'm going to say it another time. You are not your role. Remember, you are a person, you're multidimensional. There are many, there's a lot that goes into who you are. You're not one dimensional. And what that means is your role as a daughter, a spouse, a mother, an employee, a volunteer, a troop leader, a cook, a chauffeur, a cleaning lady, all of those things you probably do in your own home. You're not just those things. Those are your roles, right? Those are your roles. In order to take care of your role, you have to be a complete person, right? In order to take care of your role in a comprehensive manner, you have to be a complete person. Therefore, in thinking about self care, you have to understand that you are not just your role. You are a whole person. You have needs, wants, and desires that you want to fulfill. And that is important too. And no, your role does not trump your needs, wants, and desires. Your role is a part of your life. And when you take good care and you understand that it is your role and not who you are, you can pay attention to your needs, wants, and your desires. So you want to understand that you are not your role. The other thing that you want to understand is that um, responsibilities are created. When we say that we're responsible for something, it's because that responsibility was created. We didn't have the responsibility um, because we were born. We gained the responsibility due to perhaps expectations of us or expectations of our roles. And so When we look at our responsibilities and we understand that they were created, it gives us an opportunity to um, revamp those responsibilities in a way, or carry out those responsibilities in a way that fits our needs and meets the needs of those who have the expectations. So basically, what I'm saying is that sometimes we have responsibilities because of others' expectations, but we also have expectations as to how we should carry out those responsibilities as well. And that is a negotiation point. We can negotiate that in good faith and in love, especially when it comes to our families. Oftentimes, when we're feeling overwhelmed and we put our needs, wants, and desires on hold, we do so because we have not taken that extra step to negotiate the expectations around our responsibilities, or, yes, the expectations around our responsibilities. So, we want to remember and understand that first, we are not our role. Second, responsibilities are created and they are often based on expectations that others have of those responsibilities, as well as the expectations that we have of those responsibilities. And second, regarding the responsibilities, responsibilities give us power and presence. So when you say, I'm the strong one, there's a presence that's attached to that phrase, I'm the strong one. I'm the one who stands in the face of danger. I'm the one who's immovable. I'm the mountain that doesn't fail, right? There's a power in that, and there's a presence in that. What we want to understand, however, is that it's not always a true power, and it's not always a true presence when we say we're the strong one. Because underneath it all, we may be shaking in our boots, and we don't want to appear vulnerable because we've had this persona for so long. So we want to have an understanding of that. And we want to be honest and truthful with ourselves about those responsibilities. Responsibilities are created. We know that responsibilities give power and presence. And we also need to understand that responsibilities are often based on expectations that others have, as well as expectations that we have as well. So I've just talked about two of the life changing self care practices. We've talked about two. First, it is to assess. Second, it is to understand. And third, we need to plan. Now, as I said before, self care is a lifestyle. It is not just an act that we do. Self care, real self care, true self care that produces long lasting results is a lifestyle. It's incorporated into our lifestyle. There, we carry it out on a day to day basis without even thinking about it because it is so ingrained in what we do. It reaches different areas of our lives: mental, physical, spiritual, as well as emotional. Those those areas of our lives. And we have practices that we do on a daily basis that are just a part of what we do, right? Um, and so it's really important for us to begin to plan, not to not necessarily to plan plan for the actions that we're going to take, but we need to develop a plan so that we can incorporate certain actions into our lifestyle. Let me give you an example. We eat every day, right? We eat because we have to live. And so when we're eating, eating can be a form of self care. How is it a form of self care? It's a form of self care because what we eat is vital to our health. If we're eating a pint of high fat, high sugar ice cream, I won't mention any brands because I consider myself an ice cream connoisseur, and I've had to cut back drastically. And why? Because it has started, I see how it's affected my health, right? So, what we eat affects our health. When I was younger, I ate everything, and I was about this big. I had a few curves. I was about that big. Now I can't eat everything because when I look at certain foods, it puts pounds on me. I don't even have to ingest it. It just jumps on me. So, but what I'm getting to, let me get back on track. What I'm trying to say is this: we eat every day. However, what we eat can be healthy for us, or it may not be as healthy for us. But there are choices around that. We can take good care and we can perform self care by virtue of what we eat, what we choose to eat, what we choose to drink, what we choose not to drink. But it can be a part of our daily lives. We're told we should drink 8 ounces of 8 glasses of water every day. How many of you eat 8 glasses of water every day? Give me a hand clap to let me know that you drink. Drink 8 glasses of water every day. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, for those of you who do not drink 8 glasses of water every day, it's a choice and it's a self part, can be part of your self care plan. It could be incorporated into your lifestyle. So, when we're talking about planning, what we're talking about is not just the actions. We're talking about those things that we do on a daily basis that's part of our lifestyle. We want those things to, we want to develop a plan and we want to incorporate it into our lifestyle and we want to make it specific. We want specific. Remember, we talked about SMART goals at the beginning of the year. We want our plan to be specific. We also want it to be measurable because we want to see the results. We want to know that it's working, and we want it to be something that we can reach, something that we can do daily. Now, if I said to myself, "Oh, I'm going to run 20 miles a day," I'd be lying because first of all, I'm not a runner and it would be very difficult for me to run a mile without walking most of it. So we needed to be something that we can do. Now, I can walk. So one of my goals on a daily basis is to walk 8,000 steps. Now, that is not, I know everybody says 10,000 is the golden is the magic number. But I heard a physician talk about a study that was done, and it showed that for individuals of a certain age, 8,000 steps is really the magic number. It's the key to longevity. So 8,000 steps is my magic number, and that's what I strive for on a daily basis. That is it's something that I can do. It's measurable and it's very specific. And it's just part of what I do every day. It's part of my lifestyle. It doesn't take me out of the, it's not out of the ordinary for me. It's something I can do. It's something I do when I get up in the morning because I have to walk to the bathroom, right? And I can measure that. I have to walk to my car when I leave, I can measure that. So we want whatever you do in your plan, we want it to be incorporated into your lifestyle. You want it to be specific. You want it to be measurable. You want it to be attainable, meaning it's something that you can do. You want it to be relevant to your life. I'll use the running example. I don't, I admire people who run, but running is not one of my things because, first of all, my knees can't do that anymore. Walking is relevant to me because it's something I can do and it's something that I enjoy. I can walk at a fast pace if I like, I can stroll if I like. It's something that I can do. So you want it to be relevant to you. You don't want to put something in your plan or in your lifestyle plan that's going to be unrelatable to you. Finally, you want it to be time bound. You want to give yourself a deadline. When are you going to when are you going to do this? How long are you going to do it so that it becomes a habit, something that you don't even think about? And it's something that you crave to do when you don't do it. So in your plan, and I'm talking about a lifestyle, incorporating this into your lifestyle, you want your self-care habits, your self-care plan to be something that is measured, a smart goal. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. So we've been talking about saying goodbye to stress with these 3 life-changing self-care practices. And I've talked about assessing. I want you to begin to assess what the issue is, what stops you from um, incorporating self-care practices into your lifestyle. What stops you? I also want you to assess whether you're viewing self-care as a remedy or you're viewing it as part of what you do on the regular, as part of what you do. Also, assess what you need. You want to know what you as an individual needs, not what your grandmama needs, not what your kids need, not what your spouse or your partner needs, but what do you need as an individual? Secondly, understand that you are not your role. You're not your role. You're not your role. You know, you can be a daughter, you can be a partner, spouse, you can be a mother, you can be an employee, you can be the family representative, you can be a volunteer, you can be the person who cleans your house. But you're not that role. You are an individual, you are a person, and you have needs, wants, and desires that should be fulfilled. Also, you want to understand that responsibilities are created. They are created and they give power and presence. So when you consider yourself the strong one and you consider yourself the one who's always available, is that because you derive power from that? Do you derive presence? And do you need to look at that again so that maybe you can revamp a little bit? Also, when we think about responsibilities, they're based on expectations that you have, as well as expectations that others have. You want to have an understanding of that, and you want to consider whether you need, again, to review, revamp, and change. Finally, the plan. Plan to incorporate life changing strategies into your lifestyle. Remember, the focus is not one dimensional because you are not a one dimensional person. The focus should be on all aspects of what makes you you, mentally, physically, emotionally, as well as spiritually. You want to incorporate things that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, as well as things that are time bound so that you know and you can assess whether it's working. I would like for you to let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Also, make sure again that you subscribe, like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can always find the replays on Facebook at ML Bailey Consultants and on YouTube at the same. I'm Marcyline Bailey. That's all for now. And as always, take good care.